Hello and welcome again, everyone. I'm your host, Ali, CEO and co-founder of Knowde, the leading digital customer experience platform for chemicals and ingredients. Just as a reminder to everyone, our goal with this series is to share the perspectives you need to navigate the changing landscape of the industry, especially when it comes to digital. We've had a number of amazing guests, and I'm thrilled to introduce the latest one, Tony O'Donovan, President and CEO of Arkema Inc. Arkema, as you know, is a leader in specialty materials, structured into three complementary segments of adhesive solutions, advanced materials, and coatings. There is an ever-growing demand for innovative and sustainable materials, and Arkema is one of the best at what they do in addressing the global trends of today and for the future. I'm so glad Tony is joining us to tell you a little bit more about their story. Tony, welcome. Thanks so much. Before we jump in, is there anything that I may have missed that you want to share about yourself or Arkema?
Well, thanks, Ali. I think you covered it pretty well. I mean, obviously, it's a global company, like you said. I'm in charge in terms of my role here in North America, in charge of the North America business, which is just a little over 1/3 of the business, but we are truly a global company. And you hit it, right? Our purpose is bringing sustainable solutions to the world that needs them, and we do that in the form of our specialty materials.
Awesome. Okay, so we typically ask everyone the same three questions, and these are the questions that our audience cares about the most. Let me just jump right in. We're seeing more and more suppliers increase investments in their digital capabilities, especially as it's related to customer-facing initiatives. I mean, historically, it's been a lot of initiatives around supply chain and manufacturing and so on, and the digital transformation is now starting to move to the front of the house. What are some of the big opportunities that you see for Arkema when it comes to this space?
So I would say there's a few opportunities. Right now, we're focusing a lot on really trying to make sure that we work with customers to make sure that doing business with them is easy, right? So one part of it is purely the transactional side, being able to place orders, one-click orders, be able to track your orders, being able to make sure you know what's coming. But other ways we can make their lives a little easier too is also to have more information about our customers, to do some more predictive forecasting for them, to be able to, instead of relying on them to say, hey, we need this source of volumes of this day, is to be able to reverse that and reach out to them to say, we think you need this in this time, please confirm. And that helps everybody because we're able to feed that back into our digital systems in our operations, to be able to at least have a predictive model of where we're going and be able to make sure we have a supply chain lined up to feed it. We've had a lot of supply chain issues over the last few years, and obviously this helps us to be better at predicting and avoiding having issues, and we can make sure we maintain the excellent customer service.
I thought I was, sorry, but keep
Go ahead.
Keep going.
No, I'll say the other thing was really just an ability to sort of interface with our customers to be able to let them know more about our products. There's a lot of e-learning. It's not the same as, the first step is sort of e-catalog, but right, they want to learn more about the project because most of our value we bring to the customers is more in the discussion and more in sort of the technical support piece. And it really helps that they already have engaged in and understand a little bit about our products before we get to that step.
I always assumed that I was fairly dialed in on all the different, digital platforms of the industry. Did I hear you correctly in saying one-click reordering? I mean, that's I didn't know you guys had that capability.
Well, that's definitely an area where in certain areas of our business we've been piloting, and we would like to extend that. Obviously, there are different ways of doing it. Clearly being a bulk supplier, you can read tank levels and order automatically. But one area would definitely be for some of our more customer-facing businesses is to make sure within our distribution network, we have the ability to order directly out of inventory and availability to be able to progress that. So that is definitely an initiative that we're working actively on.
Got it. You also mentioned, being able to support customers and being able to explore your product catalog and just learn more about the products and then being able to engage them. Have you also thought about whether that engagement after they've found the right product or solution can happen online?
There is a certain element for that. Clearly, if we're facing a lot of customers, as they're looking at our products, we're able to also be able to learn a little bit more about our customers and be able to direct a little bit more of our marketing directly towards them as well. So we're able to engage with them on that area. It depends on the application, though. Many of our products are very highly technical and actually interact with our customers' needs to make their applications more sustainable. So that requires a little bit more sophisticated interaction, which we're not quite at that point to be able to deliver. But what we want to do is really come in with some ideas of how we would help the customer before we start that first engagement.
Got it. Have you guys also invested in like digital sellers or inside sales team?
We do have, and again, it depends on the business, how heavily invested we are in that area. But absolutely, we do have that. And typically, for the more big B2B customers where we have fewer customers and larger accounts, that doesn't really pay back. We tend to go more traditional. But we do have some other businesses, that are more, like I say, world customer facing with multiple customers, small volumes, where that pays dividends.
Yeah. I mean, we've certainly heard that customer expectations are just changing in the industry.
Yeah.
A lot more need for responsiveness and access to information. Sounds like you guys have certainly been hearing the same thing. Are there any other customer expectations that you guys are actively trying to make sure that you meet?
Well, definitely, like you said, be able to track orders and to be able to access our customer portal to see how they're tracking is important. Other areas that sort of have been hitting us, I mentioned a little bit on supply chain, is be able to also track back some of our supply chain back. We've had recently in the US, for instance, import controls on the Uyghur restrictions in China, for instance, that came out of the blue. And those are very difficult to handle manually, and we need to rely more and more on digital tools to be able to track our supply chains and make sure we're avoiding risk for our customers, because those risks could come at any time, and we need to make sure we're keeping our customers informed.
Yeah, got it. Everyone's desire is kind of integrate that front end to all of the back end operations. And I know how challenging it can be just because you're getting into all these ERP processes. But it sounds like you guys are, I would say top quartile for sure when it comes to all this thing.
Well, we would like to be, for sure. I mean, it's not that easy, right? We're a little bit, I would say, in progress. We're a little bit more piloting in certain areas and we're still looking for solutions because not everything is necessarily, that easy. And a lot of it is business specific, right? Certain things add value. Some things, there really isn't a return on that investment, depending on the business and depending on the applications. So we try and evaluate business by business. We're looking at certain businesses to pilot and lead sort of the area that we're looking at in certain areas. And then if that is successful, which businesses it pays off to roll it out to.
Yeah, makes sense. As you know, there are some headwinds right now. It's this year's not like it was a couple of years ago. As you're thinking about all these various pilots or starting to scale up these various projects that you've put into place, how does Arkema or you specifically think about balancing these short-term challenges against the long-term investments to especially in technology?
Well, I think it's like any other investment, right? You need to evaluate each investment on its merits. It's the same as we're investing right now in various, capacity expansions, some, acquisitions, etc. Digital tools and sort of infrastructure and operations is part of that, suite of investments that we need to evaluate. But clearly, part of what we're doing is upgrading our portfolio and our product portfolio as well as our business portfolio to be more and more specialty focused, more and more providing solutions that our customers depend on. And so we need to get closer and closer to our customers and meet their needs and be a little bit more responsive. So part of the headwinds is it's not just dealing with a little bit of I would say, the growth changes and the changes in supply and demand, but that introduces a lot of volatility. So we're able to use digital tools to try and address that volatility. So we're not increasing working capital, for instance, when we don't need to, and we can use that cash for investment. So we're trying to, like I said, balance it a little bit. Maybe we push out some of our investments that we would otherwise have been done upfront, but we need to balance that with the growth goals. We can't push out everything, otherwise we can't achieve our strategic goals as well.
Yeah. I'm glad that you think about it that way. I mean, a lot of times folks think that, there is not too much payoff in digital investments. And of course, it's on a different horizon, but there is. I mean, these are totally aligned with growth and cost savings and everything else. And it's amazing to hear what you just said. Look, thank you for your insights, Tony. Everyone loves listening to these, informal conversations with folks that are helping shape the industry. Thank you for everything that you do. I'm looking forward to seeing how Arkema continues to invest in all things digital. Any final comments as we sign off?
No, well, thank you for doing this. I think this is a great series. I think it's great to be able to hear from other companies. It's definitely a wild west of possibilities that are out there to choose from, and you always get good ideas from listening to other people. So glad we could contribute to the conversation.
Great. Thank you, Tony, so much. So great to see you. Hopefully stay in touch.
Yeah, thanks, Eddie. Hopefully see you soon.
See you.
Bye.